Hello, everyone, and welcome back. And what's on tap for today? We've got an absolutely doozy video for you folks. This one is going absolutely viral all over the place. And it's a reaction video to Mr. Rogers on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson back in September of 1980. And guess what? Mr. Rogers was talking about sex and gender on his show, and Johnny was asking him the questions as only Johnny Carson could do. We're going to get to that video and my reaction to it in just the next few seconds. But before we do so, if you haven't already done it or the first time you're tuning in, subscribe to the channel because you're watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I'm your guest host for today. My name is Dr. Nasir. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Let's get to that video. And as we talk about right now, that video is going viral within the transgenderism community and everywhere else, folks. The wokesters are awakening and they are crying. They're whining. They're complaining. They're saying, what's going on here? The transgender hysteria is awakening again because Mr. Rogers long ago said, guess what? Boys are boys and girls are girls. Let's get to that video. We're going to go that cut right now.
We were discussing sex when we did the takeoff on your show. Did you ever start, or are they too young for that? You ever get into?
That's where they learn the differences.
Yeah. Now, how do you handle it? What do you do to explain? What's your age range, would you think, who watch the show?
Mostly preschoolers, but I hesitate to say that because there's many older people who watch.
Absolutely.
But there's a song called Everybody's Fancy.
Right.
That I think some are fancy on the outside, some are fancy on the inside. Everybody's fancy, everybody's fine, your body's fancy, and so is mine. But the second verse is very important.
Now, what's the second verse?
Boys are boys from the beginning, girls are girls right from the start. Everybody's fancy, everybody's fine, your body's fancy, and so is mine. Because sometimes children think that they might change. They might have to change after a while. And, you know, we laugh about that now. But it's because we had that concern when we were little.
Yeah, because you're really not sure, and you thought maybe you'd become a girl, or the girl would become a boy, right?
Exactly.
And it happens frequently out here.
Folks, this is so classic. I'm going to rewind that and just do a little reaction to it in terms of, you know, what the song was or whatever. But Johnny Carson, the way he asks the questions and then the way he comes back with that thing, I mean, just absolutely vintage, classic Johnny Carson. Now, we're going to show another video, too, because there's another part to that song that Mr. Rogers didn't play. It's about that mommies are mommies and only girls can be mommies, only boys can be daddies. So we're going to watch that. That was from a TikTok video that's gone viral as well on Twitter and everything. Let's go back, rewind this one, and then we'll continue on, all right? All right, so I'm going to give a reaction to some of this in real time as we're going through with this.
We were discussing sex when we did the takeoff on your show. Did you ever start?
And basically, Johnny Carson is that, you know what, did you ever talk about sex? You know, a show, is it too early to start off with? Which is back, you're talking the 1980s, folks, for this to be sort of being discussed back on a TV show, especially for children, you know, is something. So Johnny Carson's asking him, you know, when do you think it's old enough to start talking about this subject?
Or are they too young for that? You ever get into?
That's where they learn the differences.
Yeah. Now, how do you handle it? What do you do to explain? What's your age range, would you think, who watch the show?
Mostly preschoolers, but I hesitate to say that because there's many older people who watch.
Absolutely.
And what he's talking about, that a lot of parents that were watching that show at that time, you know, come on, and watching with their children and everything. But yeah, predominantly for, you know, preschoolers, obviously. Let's continue.
But there's a song called Everybody's Fancy.
Right.
That I think some are fancy on the outside, some are fancy on the inside. Everybody's fancy, everybody's fine, your body's fancy, and so is mine.
Classic. Oh, the transgender crowd.
The second verse is very important.
Now, what's the second verse?
Boys are boys from the beginning, girls are girls right from the start. Everybody's fancy, everybody's fine, your body's fancy, and so is mine.
There's gonna be an uproar about that. Boys are gonna be boys, and girls are gonna be girls. Everybody's fancy, everybody's fine. Your body's great, so is mine. They are going nuts, folks. The wokesters in the transgender community. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. OMG, OMG, OMG. Anyway, let's continue with this.
Because sometimes children think that they might change. They might have to change after a while. And, you know, we laugh about that now.
And look at that. He's saying we laugh about the, and we, right? I mean, everybody at that time was giggling, laughing. Oh, come on. What are you talking about? And Mr. Rogers, Nostradamus, making the prediction back in 1980 that this is a situation, you know, that's gonna erupt and whatever, because this is just the way it's gonna be. And boy, was he spot on. Let's continue, okay, with what Johnny Carson talks about what's happening out in California, because that's out on the left coast, obviously.
But it's because we had that concern when we were little.
Yeah, because you're really not sure, and you thought maybe you'd become a girl, or a girl would become a boy, right?
Exactly.
Happens frequently out here. Sometimes.
As he said, sometimes Johnny Carson, absolutely classic. You know, what can you say about him? I mean, just you know, you can't put all the late night hosts that use Stephen Colbert. Are you kidding me? That idiot. You know, I guess if anybody, Jay Leno, but it's not even close. It's not even close. It's like, you know, Johnny Carson is up here. All right. And, you know, he's number one, number two, number three, number four, number five, number six, 10. In the top 100, he takes the top 99 spots. And then maybe you can say Jay Leno at 100 and then drop everybody down into the thousands. I mean, Johnny Carson, unbelievable, ungreat. Let's go to that other video of him singing a song. Folks, you're not going to want to miss this. We're going to go that cut right now.
Boys are boys from the beginning. If you were born a boy, you stay a boy. Girls are girls right from the start. If you were born a girl, you stay a girl and grow up to be a lady. Only girls can be the mommies. Only boys can be the daddies.
Folks, let me play that thing one more time, okay? I just think that bears playing one more time. Let's continue.
Boys are boys from the beginning. If you were born a boy, you stay a boy. Girls are girls right from the start. If you were born a girl, you stay a girl and grow up to be a lady. Only girls can be the mommies. Only boys can be the daddies.
What more can you say? I mean, you combine that video, you combine the one with Johnny Carson, people are going to be looking and trying to find even more stuff. This, folks, was just absolutely classic. I enjoyed this so much. For the, you know, obviously these people are just searching through this stuff, and you know, there's more of this that's going to come out, and it's just going to absolutely, you know, it's just gonna perturb the bejesus out of these wokesters, out of the transgender community. And we love it. We love doing this thing to them, don't we? I mean, when this stuff comes out here and then they whine and they complain and they cry and they shout and they protest and they do all kinds of stuff and they wet their panties and they wet their diapers and they have all kinds of stuff. And you know what? We're just laughing it up, yucking it up and saying, unbelievably great. Wow, 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 wow. Was this funny or what? Anyways, we appreciate you taking the time to watch. And You've been watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I've been your guest host for today. My name is Dr. Nasir. Want you to like, share, and follow this video. Put down your comments. What did you think of the video? What did you think of Mr. Rogers, Johnny Carson? All right. Hit that notification bell. Subscribe to the channel. I'll leave you with my final thoughts, which are when you're right, you're right. And when you're left, you're wrong. We'll see you again next time, folks. Take care and stay safe.